Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Good evening. It is 10:30 at night. You know what I'm thinking. Today is Wednesday, July 13th, 2016. Many of us were shocked to learn that the suicide that took place in Piedmont Park last year was a black gay man, 22 years of age. Michael George Smith Jr. from Hackensack, New Jersey, was found hanging from a tree near the Charles Allen Drive entrance to the park about 4:30 a.m. on last Thursday. On Tuesday, which was yesterday, Atlanta police identified the man as Smith, who was black, in an effort to quash social media speculation that his death was a modern-day lynching. Smith's suicide came during a week of protests in Atlanta and across the nation over recent police shootings. And Mayor Christine Reed faced questions about Ms. Smith's death from protests on Friday. A lot of people were thinking that this man's death was possibly caused by a white supremacist or KKK. I mean, I read all this stuff all over the internet. However, on his Facebook page, which goes under the name London Germain, you can clearly read where this man was having some problems with his sexuality, with his family. He was even having health issues, possibly cancer, maybe HIV. That's just my speculation in this thing. This kind of shocked me a little bit. I've had a lot of friends commit suicide. And you can't pinpoint why a person will kill themselves. I had a friend who committed suicide, and I'll never forget this. I had a pool party at my house, and this was maybe 10 years ago. But this was 2016, 2006, more than 10 years ago. Somewhere between 2002, between 2000 and 2004. I had a pool party at my house, and a group of friends came over. And one of my friends in particular, we were laughing, we were having so much fun. And I remember us getting in the pool, swimming, just having a great time. I always did these pool parties. He left the house in great spirits, and we didn't hear from him for a few days. And we later learned that that night, when he left my house, left that pool party, he actually went home and committed suicide. And I remember this clearly because, in my mind, I still see that man standing in my kitchen laughing, joking, playing. We were having a good time. No one would ever guess this man was having any type of issue or depression. But he committed suicide because he had found out he tested HIV positive. He didn't say anyone. No, none of us knew. None of us knew what was going on. We didn't have any clue that this man was in some type of having any type of mental issues or suffering from depression. He was just the same normal person. And he left my house that night, got in his car, drove off. This was a handsome, attractive, outgoing, productive person who had as far as I am concerned, was a very outgoing person who was doing something with his life. And he went home that day and killed himself. His suicide always stands in my mind because he was at my home. We were all together the night that he committed suicide. Now, I've had so many friends commit suicide over the years for various reasons. The main two reasons, black, gays, men that I know have committed suicide, no more reasons than HIV. The number two reason has been a bad relationship that ended. And neither one of those issues, for me personally, are worth killing yourself over. This kind of struck me, left me kind of sad. It's been a rough week. I'm sitting here having a little glass of wine. I was like, I was trying to figure out which video I would do. But I kept going back to this man's story. I've read it about 10 times. I was just trying to figure out why this 22-year-old kid, and let me say this, guys, I'm 46, and I always say this, I have been through a hell of a lot of shit, a lot of stuff that a lot of you all couldn't even imagine. But I've never ever thought about suicide, because that doesn't resolve the issue. It leaves a lot of people hurting. In every instance, in each one of my friends who committed suicide, is like it left a hole in our hearts. We didn't understand the reasons why. Suicide is never the answer. That's why I get so angry and mad at black gays who refuse to talk. If you have HIV, stand up and say something. Talk about it. Get it out. Speak on it. If you're having problems with your family members and friends because of your sexuality, say something. If you're in a relationship that's not quite going the way you want it to go and things are going bad, speak up. Say something. Spit it out. No matter how painful it might be. Because when we hold this stuff in, don't talk, don't communicate, don't speak. When we sit back in shame and silence, that doesn't resolve anything. A lot of people have criticized me for being so out and open in these videos. I get it off my fucking chest. I speak. If I'm having problems with me and Earl are going through issues, I did videos and I regretted doing those videos, but I got it off my chest. And I spoke about it. I'm not going to sit here in this damn house and hold all this stuff in, all these problems and pain and stuff that I'm going through. I'm going to throw it out to the universe. Get it off my back. Gay men have got to learn, black gays in particular have got to learn to speak up and quit allowing fear to overwhelm their lives. The fear and depression. At 22 years of age, this man had his whole life ahead of him. Problems I had at 22, I look back and I'm laughing now. I thought that was the end of the world. It wasn't. Some of the roughest days in my life when I was younger made me stronger. But I had to get through that. I'm asking you guys to hold on. It is so much taking place here in Atlanta in the black gay community. I see so much pain across this community. Everybody's holding it in. You should be criticized for speaking up. Stand up, speak up, shout it out, scream it out. Get it off. Get it out of you. Regardless of what people think. Don't hold this stuff in. But that man was having health problems. He could have found somebody to talk about it and seek help and guidance. He could have got through it. Sometimes people criticize me because I talk about HIV so much. It is here and it ain't going no place. We cannot continue to ignore this disease as it sweeps through our community. And silence people when they speak up and say something about it. Allow these men to talk, speak. Allow them to be free. This kind of was tough for me. So I feel like we lost one. And that didn't have to happen. He was a handsome, attractive man. And it pains me because I've seen this so often. And he didn't have to happen. Sometimes we let depression, we don't realize that depression is a disease that can be treated. And sometimes we as African Americans, we run away from the help that we need. There's nothing wrong with seeking help. Mental health therapy is probably the number one thing most black Americans need. Every American for this matter. I would love to see more black gays involved in mental health therapy or some type of psychiatric help. Because there's so many issues that we deal with on a daily basis. You can't fix it. You can't figure it out and fix it yourself. Sometimes you do have to talk to somebody and get these issues resolved and seek help and speak up. Don't be ashamed. Take that shame. I want you to write shame on a piece of paper, ball it up, and throw that shit away. Take it out your vocabulary. Take the shame away. That's the issue here. Too many people living in shame because you're black, because you're gay, because you have HIV or whatever health issues or whatever's going on. I had a friend who committed suicide because he lost a job. Do you not think he'd ever find another job again? Anyway, I'm exhausted. It's kind of, like I said, I've read his article 3 or 4 times for him, just looking for answers, trying to get an understanding. Anyway, I guess sometimes we're looking for answers where there might not be any. If you like my videos, click like, share them with family members and friends. You all have a good